It's a decoy tactic by a lot of salespeople that don't really understand what the EMF part is. Some people are more comfortable laying flat when they get superheated. Still a good idea. Doesn't mean it's not right for somebody else. Just being realistic about what their needs are. Both the sunlight and the clear light are relatively the same. Both of them say low EMF. The electronics and the heaters and all the equipment, you're gonna get some EMF.
All right. Do you want to start with the easy questions or the tough ones?
Oh,
Or
whatever.
should we just go down the list?
Doesn't matter. I'm tired today, so they'll all be about the same.
We got your energy up. We're good to go. I've got my little hibiscus LaCroix ready to go. I'm excited for this. All right. Question number one. Jennifer, one of the unapproved sauna brand sales teams told me that ELF levels will fluctuate.
ELF?
I think they meant EMF.
ELF.
ELF.
Electric fields.
ELF. Oh, yeah. There we go. Okay, not EMF. We're talking ELF. They'll fluctuate and possibly measure higher. Based on that, what's the vicinity of the sauna when measurements are taken? For example, if the sauna is near a router or a wall with wiring behind it, the ELF levels may register higher in the sauna.
Yeah, duh.
So I guess the question is, have you experienced a lot of this?
Oh, you can, but it's a decoy tactic by a lot of salespeople that don't really understand what the EMF part is. Jesus, I wouldn't know how to unpack that question really, because there's so many elements to it that aren't specified. So for instance, ELF is electric fields, which you can have in an environment with or without a sauna based on the wiring in the walls, the electronics in the room or whatever. But I wouldn't categorize that with saying there's a Wi-Fi router in there that emits RF radiation, which is a different type of EMF. So it would take 15 minutes to just unpack and explain that. What she's basically saying is that you can test a sauna in a non-controlled environment and you can get EMF readings that seem high that are coming through the wall of the sauna that are not actually emitted from the sauna itself. Yes, that is very possible.
So is this also one of these brands that's saying you're going to get those high readings no matter what?
Usually.
Is that kind of what they're saying?
Yeah. When the first part where you say that like the ELF changes from time to time, it is true. When the power supply first jump starts or first starts up and it's not at full capacity, it'll read lower, but what does that matter?
Okay.
But yeah, she's totally right. If you're not in a controlled environment, or if you put a better example would be if you put a sauna up against a wall with a breaker panel, like the main breaker panel for the house in it, you're probably going to get an 80 to 90 milligauss magnetic field. And you'd probably get some electric fields in the neighborhood of 500 to, 800. And so if you put the sauna in there or in that location and you tested it with an EMF meter and you took video of it, the sauna could be unplugged from the wall, not even working, and you would still register EMF, or so it would seem, inside the sauna, not actually coming from the sauna, coming from another source. Yes, that is an issue.
How far away does that necessarily have to be then?
The fall off rate's pretty steep. Within 5-6 feet, you're pretty much down to nothing.
Okay, so if Jennifer has like a small room and she's really worried about that, she should probably set things farther apart.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, or if there's a specific scenario that you're trying to work through, let's reframe the question and get like a picture of the install space or whatever sauna's in question or things like that. And it could be a little more calculated with the answer, but
got it.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. So Jennifer, drop your pictures of your setup inside of the group so we can see that. Yes. All right. Next question is my boy, Justin. He says, hey, I'm new to the group. I'm looking for a couple of recommended saunas, but man, they're a little bit out of my price range. Do we have some good quality infrared saunas for home use that are reasonably priced? And when I asked for the price range, I got one from Chris, one from Justin. Justin says 2,500 to 3,000. Chris says 4K and under.
Yeah, there should be some good options for that. You get a portable for $800. You can do a dome sauna they used to be like 1,600 or 1,800. Now I think they're gouging the hell out of people at 2,600 or 2,700, which is a lot for a dome. Do you know what a dome is? A dome is that little thing that you lay on the floor, which it's awesome. It's really effective. Somebody else has a question about this too. It spreads the far infrared with great body coverage, but you're also laying in your own sweat. So you got to clean it up. You got to do the towel thing or a blanket thing, blah, blah, blah. But for stuff that's good in that price range, there's a ton of options.
So it can get pretty nasty is what you're saying.
I'm biased against it just because I don't prefer it, but that doesn't mean it's not a good fit for other people.
Got it.
Just being realistic about what their needs are. Some people are more comfortable laying flat when they get superheated because they don't have to stand up. If they get lightheaded or if they have some discomfort or whatever, it's more comfortable for them to lay down, which I totally understand. For me, I just don't like it because of the cleanup. Like I don't like laying in my own sweat, full body.
Well, you can only be so lucky, Matt, to lay in your sweat.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know this was going to be a love fest here.
It is.
Okay.
We're serious. We're serious here.
You get a little bit of that in the wooden saunas when you put towels down on the bench and then you sit there and you sweat for 40 minutes or whatever. You're like sitting in your own sweat. And when you get up, it's nasty, gunky. Imagine your whole body is being laying in that. It's the same thing.
And I suppose if you're detoxing and you're doing some of the supplements, it does get pretty close. Like if you got a towel or whatever that you're laying on, it can.
Yeah, it definitely can. It's mostly preferential though, right? It's still effective, still a good idea. It's just not what I prefer. Doesn't mean it's not right for somebody else.
So that brings us to Heather, which is the one who asked, hey, what is the dome sauna you would recommend? Looking to build immunity, fight cancer, inflammation, need effectiveness with low EMF, VOC, need portable, likely lying down aspect rather than sitting.
Yeah.
There's a long one.
Don't have a perfect recommendation. I saw that one. Don't have a perfect recommendation for that just yet. Both the sunlight and the clear light are relatively the same. Both of them say low EMF. Neither one of them have electric fields mitigated, even though they claim to. It's also the nature of the beast for the domes is that the electronics and the heaters and all the equipment, because it's in that little thing that's really tightly close to the body, you're going to get some EMF from those, but the benefits outweigh the cons. But as far as like a best recommendation, I don't have one right now. There is one other company I think that may come out with something cool. I was working on a prototype, getting a manufacturer to hone in on one to my specs. It just couldn't quite deliver. So the demo models that I received back so far haven't been good enough to produce. So I don't have one out yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to abandon that project or pursue it. It's a pain to deal with these guys. You get something perfected and you send them a package and say, hey, I want it exactly like this. And then they build it and send it to you and it's different. You're like, how many times can we do this?
You wanted an igloo, right? That's what you were looking for?
Yeah, I want it to get cold. What's this heat stuff you guys got in it? Come on, go.